Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, welcome back to another episode. My name's Dr. Alex George and I'm here to build your mental fitness. 2025 is here and I want to help you make this year the best one yet. Whether you're thinking about career goals, relationships, or your health, this video is going to be packed with actionable advice to help you achieve your goals this year. I make lots of content like this, so if it's something that sounds useful to you, please do subscribe to the channel and turn your notifications on so you get an alert when a new video is released. Right, let's get started. Part 1, set goals that actually work. Now, it's easy for us to imagine end destinations and think that by focusing on these, that we're just going to get there, it's going to happen. Like thinking, right, well, I want to go and exercise more this year because that will make me healthy and fit. I want to read more books about psychology because my mental health will improve. And there is logic, and I understand how we see these things this way, but it doesn't really help us in achieving it. In many ways, a good career or relationship or your health, these are the end destinations. The SMART goals are about getting us there. So how do we create goals that you can actually stick to? So broadly, they need to be SMART goals, which is a popular phrase that we kind of use at school a lot, but it's still kind of true. And this is what it stands for. 1, it needs to be specific. 2, it needs to be measurable. 3, it needs to be attainable or achievable. 4, it needs to be relevant. And 5, it needs to be time bound. This kind of structure helps you create ways of doing things that you're going to stick to, and over time leads to you getting to your end destination. So a good example is, rather than saying, right, I want to go to the gym and get fit and strong, or this year I'm going to go to the gym a lot. Well, how do we create that into a SMART goal? So it might be like, right, 3 times a week on Monday, Wednesday and Thursday mornings, I'm going to go to the gym, which is around the corner and I already have a pass to. I'm going to go to a class on there at 7 in the morning. I know that I'll enjoy that class. I'm going to do that 3 times a week and I'm going to do it for a month and see how it goes. That is already a SMART goal. You might want to add to that and go, on Sundays, when I have more time, I'm going to do an hour walk. I'm going to do that at 9 o'clock in the morning because I'll wake up, have a coffee and go for a walk. All of a sudden, you're creating a framework to stick at these things. You're basically kind of hedging your bets. You're making it more likely that if you do these set of things, you'll get to the outcome that you want. A good idea is to add rewards to your goal. So if you stuck at your 3 times a week gym and your long walk on a Sunday, having something that's there to go, well done, you did a good job, and reward yourself. For example, watching your favourite film on a Sunday night, or perhaps your favourite ice cream or something as a treat. Having something there that says, good job, will really help. It's really important, especially at this time of year where people are thinking about resolutions and their goals, is not to set too many of them. Often we start in January and go, right, I'm going to do this, this, and this. First of all, take a bit of a life audit. Look at the areas in your life you'd like to work on. I've talked about values lists in the past, so you might be like, well, you know, my values are being fit and healthy, my values are my career, you know, rating 1 to 10, where you are right now with that and where you want to be with it. And perhaps circling just a couple of areas you want to work on. So pick on your physical exercise, pick out your sleep, pick out maybe, I don't know, your time with friends. How much time with friends do you spend this year? And choose those according to your values. Those are areas that you want to work on, and then create the SMART goals. And what this does, it makes sure that you don't write a list of 10 resolutions or goals for the year with no actionable plan as to how you're going to achieve them, and trying to do too much at once. And all that happens is that when we try and do everything, we don't do anything. So instead, be specific. Pick specific goals, create a plan, and reward yourself as you go. Number 2, build habits, not resolutions. Now, I talk about this a lot in my book, The Mind Manual. This is actually a reworked version of the original book. It's pocket-sized. It's got what I've called 7 universal truths within it that will help you build your mental health and your mental fitness. And something I really talk about is the importance of habit building and habit stacking. So why do habits matter? Well, when we have to make a choice each day to do something, it's more likely that we're going to rely on motivation. Where do we feel like doing the thing? And often we might have certain days where we really feel like it, other days that we don't. And understanding this helps you create genuine things that you stick to for a long period of time. So if you think about it this way, when you get up in the morning, you don't really think about brushing your teeth. It's a habit. So habits are generally things that you do without having that daily consideration of, shall I do this or shall I not do it? You're not relying on discipline, you're not relying on motivation, you're just doing it. That is the sweet spot. If you do something for a decent period of time, it becomes a habit. On average, apparently according to research, it takes about 66 days for a habit to form. Up until the point a habit's formed, you generally rely on two things. One is motivation and two is discipline. So motivation is the thing that makes me feel like I really want to do this, like I want to go outside and go for a run, it'll feel good. Discipline is more like I committed to doing the run, I'm going to do it. And in truth, both are kind of important. And the thing is that motivation comes in waves. Like sometimes you're highly motivated, other times you have low motivation. What we know is that when you generally start a new thing, like going to the gym, motivation usually only lasts a few weeks. Then you need this thing called discipline to step in and help you. So discipline is kind of your framework to keep you steady and solid regardless of where the motivation comes, which means that on days you're like, oh, I can't really be bothered to go for the run. You go, nope, I've agreed to this. I've created smart goals. I know this is what I've agreed to do. I know my action. I'm going to go and do it. And often the good thing is when you go and do that thing and you're disciplined, you get a dopamine boost. You get a dopamine reward for doing it, which often helps you feel more motivated the next time. And over time, what happens is that regardless of how you feel, you do the thing. And that is when eventually a habit's formed and you find yourself brushing your teeth every day, or you find yourself going outside for that walk every single day, or before bed, you journal before you go to sleep every night. You just eventually find yourself doing that without even thinking. And that is the sweet spot. A really great way to hedge your bets of forming a habit with something is to do what's called habit stacking. So the idea here is that you attach something that you want to do, something new, to an existing habit. Ideally a habit that you do every day. It's already very well formed. Maybe something you've been doing for many months or years. A good example is brushing your teeth. Maybe, for example, you want to meditate every day. Perhaps you want to try our app Metal, our mental fitness app for men, and you want to be, doing that every single day as a habit. A good idea is to attach it to something that's already there. So brushing your teeth is something you generally do every morning. So if you get up and you brush your teeth and you go, right, every time I brush my teeth in the morning, I'm going to do my meditation. That's called habit stacking because you know you're going to do the first thing, and as soon as you do the first thing, brushing your teeth, it will trigger you to do the next thing. Now, for the first few weeks or the first couple of months, it will require a bit of discipline. Brush my teeth. Shall I just go and have breakfast? No, come on, we're going to do it. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to get Metal out, or I'm going to do my meditation. I'm going to use my guided app. I'm going to do that for 10 minutes. What will happen is that after a few weeks or months, you'll no longer have that in-between dialogue in your brain. You'll go from brushing your teeth to meditating, and there a habit will be formed. So in summary on habit setting, make sure that you have got smart and clear goals you want to achieve. You know why you're doing your habit, why are you doing the thing. Try and use habit stacking as a way to make the chance of you sticking at it more likely. Use discipline and apply motivation where necessary, and know that if you do this for a couple of months, it will eventually form a habit. You got it. Part 3, and really it could have been number 1, is prioritise your health. If you want to have an amazing 2025, or in fact beyond that, then put your health first. Think of it this way. If you prioritise your health, there is no part of your life that doesn't benefit. Think of it another way. If you don't prioritise your health, there is no part of your life that won't suffer. This is so important and foundational to life. I think for so many years we've prioritised, or we've glamorized, I guess, working hard, play hard, put family first, the career first, and health goes right at the bottom. And it's so stupid, because actually if we invest our time and our energy, and perhaps sometimes a bit of money too, into our health, it improves our whole life, everything. And the reason it's important is because, number 1, you're more resilient. So if you have good mental fitness and physical fitness, you're more resilient to not just illness and injury, but also to the ebbs and flows of life. Secondly, you're more available. You have more ability and capacity to experience joy, to experience the good moments, to be present. Third of all, it will actually make the success of other things in your life more likely. If you want to do well in your career, being physically and mentally fit and healthy will help your career. It absolutely will. And I think, it's something that I have learned from writing things like the Mind Manual, my other books, and doing my podcast, the Stompcast, that I really want, and this is so, so important, I really want to get across this message, that you will never regret time and effort spent on your health. It will never be something you've regretted. I promise you, it will make a difference to your life. If you can just spend a bit of energy and a bit of focus on improving your health, even in small steps and small ways, the transformation can be huge. It can be going for a walk every morning. It can be starting a bit of exercise and movement, making sure we get 7 hours sleep, looking at the food on your plate. Is it a nutritious, non-processed plate of food, or is it quite beige and quite processed? Having a think about the people we spend time with, having a think about, when's the last time we learned a book about improving our mental fitness, for example. Doing this work throughout the year will pay dividends for your life. So please, if there's anything you do in 2025, make it be prioritizing your health. Part 4, reflect and adjust often. So at the start of the year in January, there's often a lot of reflection, the New Year's resolutions start, and then often people will kind of head out into the year. And number one, forget often what their resolutions were or their goals were. And secondly, there's not really a period of re-reflection throughout the year, perhaps until you get to the end of the year and you go, oh, did I achieve the things or did I not? And oh gosh, that's no longer a priority anymore. I didn't do that, but actually I wanted to do this instead. What I'm trying to get at is it's really important to reflect regularly. For a lot of people that can be a weekly basis, but it could just start as a quarterly basis. If this is new or you don't want to reflect so regularly, because it allows you to genuinely see, where am I going? Where am I? And where do I want to go? Where is it that I want to be, and has that changed? So what I do personally is I sit down every quarter, almost to use like the business years, Q1, Q2, Q3 and Q4, and I look at my last set of observations. I use a values list, which I've talked about before. So I write down my values, I rate them, and I look at what I want to work on. I create actionable goals from them. And I look at that and I go, well, has my values changed? Am I still doing the things that I want to do? Perhaps, you felt that it was really important to learn the piano at the start of the year, but by the end of the year, something else has become more important. That's okay. It's not a problem to have your values change or your focuses change, but to be cognizant and aware of that decision is what matters. So do it often. Every quarter is a great start. What have I done so far this year? Are my goals working? We talked about SMART goals. Are they effective? Have I stuck at them? It's a great opportunity as well to celebrate the wins, to reinforce the fact that, oh, hey, I'm doing a good job, because I think it's something a lot of us are guilty of. We go out there into the world and we do our best each day and each week, but we never kind of stop and go, do you know what? I'm doing a pretty good job. And that's what reflection can really help with. And from those reflections, you can make adjustments. So it allows you to go, well, actually, I wanted to prioritize, learning the piano this year. But in actual fact, this area, perhaps my friendships, has become something that I've realized I want to work more on. And actually it's better to spend my time, my tokens on this area of my life. And that's okay, because it allows you then to readjust, to make a new plan, and then to continue with that. Over time, you might want to bring it more regularly. Perhaps you journal already, or you would like to do weekly reflections. Some things that people find useful is looking at what went well, what didn't go well, what can I do differently moving forward? There's lots of techniques that people use, but whatever works for you, stick at it, and you'll find that over time, it'll make a big difference. I'd like to just touch upon this idea of, and I guess it's something that we reflect on a lot, is who we surround ourselves with. It's really important that you surround yourself with people that bring positivity, that celebrates your highs, that support you in your lows. I recently had a conversation on the Stompcast with Sahil Bloom, who is absolutely amazing. He's written an amazing book about the 5 types of wealth. And he was talking about friendships and people and saying kind of to think about how you feel after you've been with someone. What's your gut telling you about your time with that person? Because the wrong people can really drain you. The right people can really lift you. And that's something to really remember in 2025. Another good one to use if you're thinking about what drains you in life is looking at something that Sahil talked about, is looking at your calendar and color coding it from green to neutral, maybe a beige, and then red for negative, and thinking about energy. So what in your week adds energy to you? So perhaps you're someone that's a people person. When you have meetings in person, you feel energized, but then when you have a whole day on your own, you feel drained, or perhaps the other way around. And trying to make sure there's a good balance in the week. Look, there's going to be things in our lives that are not our favourite things to do, but we need to because that's life. But trying to make sure that the week isn't full of red is really important, making sure perhaps there's a good balance. And I also kind of think it's quite a helpful way to look at your life and to think, well, if I feel generally good or generally bad, what are the reasons for that? Is it perhaps because of the people I spend my time with and the energy they give? But also, what about my work week or what I do with my life? Am I doing things that energize me or drain me? A really helpful way to begin, I think, when you're doing some reflection on how you spend your time and your energy. So there you have it. That's my video on how to make 2025 the best year yet. I hope that the advice I've shared in those parts will be helpful. Some things you might think, yeah, that's for me. Other things, less helpful. That's okay. It's about working out what is in your toolkit for life and applying those tools in the right way and regularly. Guys, thank you so much for joining on this video. As I've said before, really, I'm here to try and help your mental fitness and mine along the way too. I talk about alcohol-free living, of course, general mental fitness advice as well, and also sharing some of my life experience. And so if this is the kind of thing that you want to hear about, if you think it's going to be useful to you, please do subscribe. Also leave in the comments below any tips you have for people. This is a community I'm building here. So share advice that you have in your life. What stuff have you found useful when you went into 2024 that you're going to take into 2025? What things you're going to leave behind that wasn't as useful? Because then people can read through the comments and get even more tips. And it's something that I've noticed in the last few videos I've made, how much really genuinely useful stuff you guys have shared in the comments. And I just want to say thank you for that, to be honest, because it's helped me as well as I'm sure other people. Anyway, I just want to say a happy new year to all of you on this YouTube community. I appreciate each and every one of you. Take care and goodbye.